We often measure life in decades, 70 years, maybe 80 if you're lucky.
Right.
But today, I need you to just zoom out. Think about time on a completely different scale.
A geological scale, almost.
Exactly. We're talking about a creature that measures its life not in decades, but in centuries.
5 centuries. That number is just staggering. I mean, just put that into perspective for you.
Yeah.
When the oldest of these sharks were born, the Ottoman Empire was still thriving. Shakespeare was writing his final plays.
So we're talking before the Pilgrims even boarded the Mayflower.
Way before. It's an incredible amount of time.
It's absolutely incredible. And that right there is our mission for this deep dive, to unpack the unbelievable existence of the Greenland shark. You might also know it as the Guri shark or the gray shark.
And the Inuit people call it Iqalusuaq.
Right. We're going to get into its bizarre biology, its extreme patience, and its secret to being the longest living vertebrate on the entire planet.
And the central question here, the paradox we have to solve, is just how.
How does it do it?
Yeah, how does a massive, slow-moving predator manage to survive for half a millennium in the coldest, darkest waters in the world?
Okay, so let's unpack this. And I think we have to start with the environment that forged this creature.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the frigid North Atlantic and Arctic oceans. These are not, tropical vacation spots.
No, not at all. These are deep, cold, very low-energy environments. They are the true masters of that deep, cold water.
And we think of them as being near the Arctic ice, right?
Mostly, yes. But researchers have recently discovered that they can dive so deep, we're talking over 2,200 meters,
Wow.
that they can actually be found surprisingly far south, even down toward the Caribbean.
It was deep and cold.
As long as they have that deep, cold water column to live in, that's their world.
And physically they are? Well, they're terrifyingly impressive. They belong to the sleeper shark family.
Which is such a perfect name given their low energy, slow nature.
And they're huge.
Yeah.
We are talking about sharks averaging between 2.5 to 5 meters long.
That's comparable in size to a great white shark. They can weigh up to, 2,200 pounds?
I saw some unconfirmed reports suggesting individuals pushing 7 meters.
Yeah, those are unconfirmed, but it gives you a sense of their sheer scale. They look like these ancient, shadowy figures.
Kind of creamy gray or blackish brown.
Right, with a massive rounded snout. But here is the critical clue to their longevity, to everything about them, really. It's their speed.
Or lack thereof.
Exactly. They are, and this is literal, the sloths of the sea.
I still can't quite get my head around this. How slow are we actually talking?
They hold the record. The slowest swim speed and the slowest tailbeat frequency of all fish species. For their size, it's just...
Unbelievable.
It is. Their typical cruising speed is a mind-numbing 1.2 kilometers per hour.
So wait, 1.2, that's great.
That's slower than a person walking. If they're really pushing it, like if they feel threatened, they might hit 2.6.
So the question isn't just how they survive, but why they evolved to be so agonizingly slow. Surely at that size, you'd need to be fast.
Well, their slowness is a direct adaptation to where they live. The water is so incredibly cold that all of their internal processes,
Their metabolism.
their enzyme kinetics, everything has to run incredibly slowly. They require far less oxygen and far fewer calories. They're just optimized for extreme efficiency, not for speed.
Okay, so the cold dictates the speed and the speed dictates the longevity. It's all one big system.
It's a complete feedback loop.
But that raises the next big question. If you're that slow, how do you catch anything? How does a creature that can't chase its food become an apex predator?
This is where their strategy is just brilliant. Since they operate in the dark, deep Arctic, chasing is totally out of the question.
Right.
So they rely on stealth. On surprise, their slow movement actually works for them. They're basically undetectable.
So they just sneak up on sleeping animals.
They sneak up on sleeping seals, sleeping fish. It's a genius low-energy strategy.
And then what?
Once they're close, they don't even need a powerful bite. They just open their huge mouth, the buccal cavity, really fast.
And it creates a vacuum.
A powerful suction effect. They can literally vacuum up a seal and often swallow it whole. Stealth and suction. That's their motto.
Now let's talk about another bizarre element here. Their eyes. I understand they're often damaged.
That's right. It's actually really disturbing. Greenland sharks are often plagued by this specific parasitic crustacean.
A parasite.
Yeah, it attaches directly to their cornea and slowly eats away at the eye tissue. It often leaves the shark functionally blind.
That sounds absolutely miserable. But if they're all being blinded by these things, why doesn't it seem to affect their survival?
Well, think about where they live. It's already pitch black, so perfect vision is almost irrelevant down there.
So they just don't need their eyes.
They rely much, much more heavily on their sense of smell to find prey, and especially rotting carcasses. Their sense of smell is incredible.
Okay, so that brings us to their menu, which is, frankly, kind of random.
It really is. They are apex predators, but they're also very dedicated scavengers.
Right, so they'll eat smaller sharks, fish, seals.
Yeah, the younger ones tend to eat squid, bigger ones hunt seals when they get the chance. But then you have these other things they've found.
You're talking about the land animals.
Yes, the contents found in some of their stomachs is almost unbelievable.
Horses, reindeer.
And polar bears. Researchers have found the remains of polar bears inside Greenland sharks.
A polar bear? How on earth does a shark catch a polar bear?
Well, the thinking is they don't. It's not some spectacular chase. It's just opportunistic. The animal probably fell through thin ice.
And drowned.
And drowned, providing this massive, stationary, calorie-rich feast for any shark that happens to be passing by.
A terrible day for the bear, but an incredible meal for the shark.
An unbelievable energy boost. I mean, these sharks are usually solitary. They keep to themselves. But a dead whale or a polar bear carcass, that's enough to draw a few of them together.
Okay, so moving on from their unusual diet, we have to talk about what truly sets this creature apart. Its relationship with time, especially with reproduction.
Yes. If its metabolism is slow, its reproductive cycle is the very definition of extreme patience.
And I think patience might even be an understatement.
I think we need a new word for it. When we talk about these sharks reaching maturity, we're not talking about a few years.
What are we talking?
Greenland sharks do not begin breeding until they are, at a minimum, 150 years old.
150, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, an individual born when the Titanic sank wouldn't even be a teenager in shark years yet.
It totally reframes the whole concept of a late bloomer, doesn't it? If you think about it, most sharks breed within their first decade or two.
And these guys are waiting a century and a half.
It just highlights that profound difference. A life optimized for stability versus a life optimized for speed.
And the waiting doesn't even stop once they finally mate.
No. Mating has never been observed, but from bite marks on the females, we assume it's like other sharks. The male bites her to hold on.
Right.
But the gestation period, estimates suggest it could last up to 18 years.
18 years. That's enough time for a human baby to be born, grow up, and graduate high school, all while the mother shark is still pregnant.
Imagine that. The female carries hundreds of pups inside her. They're eventually born live, fully developed, and they immediately leave their mother for a solitary life in the deep.
A life of extreme delay from start to finish. So despite their massive size, should we ever worry about running into one?
Thankfully, no. There has never been a recorded attack on a human.
Because they're just so deep.
Exactly. Their extreme depth and remote Arctic habitat means you'd have to take a submersible down thousands of feet just to say hello.
That is a relief.
Yeah.
But we do impact their lives, right? Mostly inadvertently.
We do. The Greenland shark is listed as a vulnerable species. There are tens of thousands left, but around 1,000 are deliberately caught each year, and another 35,000 are caught as bycatch.
For their hide and their flesh, I assume.
Exactly. And that flesh presents a really significant danger. It has a high concentration of urea and trimethylamine oxide.
Which is toxic.
Very. If you eat it fresh, it acts as a powerful neurotoxin. It has to be heavily treated to be safe.
And how do you treat it?
It has to be either dried or, most notoriously, fermented for several months to leach out all those toxins.
And the process results in hakarl.
The infamous Icelandic delicacy, yes.
The famous hakarl. And this is where we get that great human perspective on this extreme animal through Anthony Bourdain's review.
Ah, yes. He famously described it as the single worst, most disgusting and terrible tasting thing he'd ever eaten.
It's just such a powerful human reaction to a creature that exists so far outside our own frame of reference.
It seems kind of appropriate, doesn't it? A creature that lives life so slowly causes such an immediate extreme reaction from us.
So let's try to synthesize all of this for you. What is the key takeaway this 500-year-old titan leaves us with?
I think the Greenland shark is the ultimate proof that slowness is a successful evolutionary strategy. Extreme age, extreme slowness, extreme environment, extreme patience.
Everything is extreme.
It's a creature that is perfected for stability and low-energy survival. It proves that live slow, die ancient isn't just a motto. It's a biological imperative in the deep ocean.
The success of this animal is completely dependent on its ability to just wait.
Exactly. And that, I think, raises an important final question for you to mull over.
Go on.
If the Greenland shark's metabolism is this slow, and it only breeds after 150 years,
Uh-huh.
what does this organism teach us about the true definition of a successful, enduring apex predator? What else could be hiding in the deepest parts of the ocean, measuring time on such an enormous, unbelievable scale, just waiting patiently for the next 5 centuries to pass?